Hi guys, welcome to Andesign. And in this video, I'm gonna talk about the specific steps in making an old-fashioned seal-like logo design. Let's dive in. After we open the Adobe Illustrator, we just need to create new and to the website and make sure the color mode is in RGB. First of all, before we actually begin, I just want to be super clear that the background music I use is in public domain and it's being properly licensed for Creative Commons use, such as YouTube videos. And all the materials I use, including the brushes and the fonts, I'll also make them available for download just for the sake of practice. Now we're just going to go to Google and type in mushroom images, since that's the topic we'll be doing today. And we'll just be looking through those images of mushroom and look for the one that we think is best for our today's purpose. So I have made this part the speed like to 2 times, and after we find the appropriate image of the mushroom that we are looking for, we're just gonna copy and paste to the Adobe Illustrator. So that we are just going to shrink the size of the picture so that it's not going to bother us. If we just hold Alt while scrolling the mouse, we can change our views to zoom in or zoom out the screen. And if we hold Ctrl while scrolling the mouse, we can just move the screen horizontally. After selecting the picture, we need to go to Property and change the transparency to around 33%. Press Ctrl plus number 2 to lock the picture. Hold Alt to zoom into the picture. Use our pen tool to follow the outline of this mushroom. As we can see, the pen tool does not give a line but rather a shaded area, so we can solve that by press Shift plus X to switch between a stroke and the whole area. And then we can also change the color to a white color so it's more apparent. I'm going to speed up this process of tracing the outline of this mushroom, and later I'm gonna make a video about how to mastering the pen tool. After making sure the endpoints of the outline is connected, we're gonna make a copy of the outline. By holding both the Alt and the mouse, we can make a copy of that. Now we just trace the shadows of the mushroom and divide that into different sections, such as the top and the bottom, to add more details to it. Again, we make a copy of this more detailed mushroom after we select everything by holding down Alt and the mouse. We then need to use the curvature tool to draw 2 curves with this more detailed mushroom in between of the 2 curves. Select one curve and holding Shift and then select another one. We go to Object, Blend Options, go to specific steps, around like 40-50-ish for the specific steps. Then we again go back to the Object, Blend, and Make. After getting these pattern lines, we need to go to Object and Expand, make every single line editable. After selecting everything, we need to use the Shape Builder tool to holding Alt to delete the extra part of those pattern lines. We need to use the Eraser tool to delete space for the dividing lines. However, if we use the Eraser tool while choosing everything, it will give an outline that we don't want. So we use Ctrl plus Z to go back to the previous step, and then we only chose one of the pattern lines, and then it will select other similar lines. Then we can be able to use the Eraser tool. The next step is the crucial part of this project. We need to use the brushes. If you don't have it, you can just go to Windows and go to brushes. I will make these brushes available for download, and in the later videos, I will also make tutorial videos about how to make brushes on your own. We're just going to double-click one of the pattern lines to enter a mode that we can select only those pattern lines. I have changed the speed for this process since it's pretty repetitive. For those lines that dividing the section of this mushroom, I personally prefer use the dashed lines to make it more clear. And for the detailed pattern lines, we can just try out different brushes. We can select the outline of the mushroom only, and press Ctrl+C and Ctrl+F to make the copy at the same location. By selecting the copy of the outline and we press Shift+X, we can switch between a stroke or a fill of the outline. We move this shape back to the original. We can use the Pathfinder tool to select only the outline and this shape we make, and then we combine them. We then use the ellipse tool to make a circle as a background, and change the color to white so it's more apparent. We select everything and use Shape Builder tool, holding down Alt. There's a minus sign near the mouse. Then we can delete all those extra lines and areas. Use curvature tool to make two curves with this type mark in the middle. And then it's the same step. We go to Object, Blend option, specific step. This time it's around 16 to 20. Change the color to black. Object and expand so that each single line would be editable. We select everything, use the Shape Builder tool to hold Alt and delete the extra part of the pattern lines. It's the same steps as we are making the details for the mushroom. So we are just going to use the eraser tool while we only select those pattern lines to erase all the lines that's crossing our mushroom. And then we are going to use our brushes to give each lines a special appearance so that it's more aesthetically pleasing. I changed the color of the mushroom and the background circle for a little bit and make two copies of the background circle. By pressing Shift and X, I switch from a filled circle to a stroke. Increase the thickness of the stroke. After move one of the circle, to the center, then we need to use the Type on Path tool. So we go to the Text tool, we right click, then we single click on that circle we have chosen. We can just choose the fonts that we like to use. All these fonts that I saved are free for both personal and commercial use. After we had the logo typeface that we wanted, we're going to do a little revision. So we can draw a little rectangle, or if you would like to, call it a line, to make both typefaces have the same distance to the line. Lastly, we're just using the ellipse tool while holding Shift to make a perfect circle, and then Shift+X to switch between stroke and fill, and then increase the thickness of the stroke while doing a little revision on the sides of the circle to make more seal-like and give a sense of unity. Okay, very lastly, we are just gonna holding out and make a copy of this feel like old-fashioned logo we just make and put it in the middle of this web page. Thank you all so much for watching.